Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are taking a journey back in time to explore the history of a town that holds a unique and poignant place in the story of West Africa, Badagry. Located on the coast of Lagos State, Nigeria, this ancient town is more than just a beautiful seaside destination. It's a place where pivotal moments in history unfolded, moments that have shaped the world we live in today. So, grab your virtual passport, and let's dive into the rich, complex, and captivating history of Badagry. The story of Badagry begins in the early 15th century, long before its name became known across the Atlantic. It was founded by an Alwari Agun man named Agbeda. Legend has it that he was a farmer who named the place Agbedeglam, which in the Agun language means Agbeda's farm. Over time, as more people, particularly Agun and Yoruba communities, settled in the area, the name evolved. The Europeans who later arrived found it easier to pronounce as Badagry, and that's the name that has stuck through the centuries. Its strategic location, with a lagoon on one side and the Atlantic Ocean on the other, made it a natural hub for fishing and trade, setting the stage for its future significance. By the 17th century, Badagry's destiny took a dramatic and dark turn. Its coastal access made it an ideal port for European traders, particularly the Portuguese, who were the first to establish a significant presence. Initially, the trade was in goods like palm oil, salt, and textiles, however. This soon gave way to the most horrific trade in human history, the transatlantic slave trade. Badagry became one of the most important slave ports in West Africa, a middle point from which countless Africans were forcibly taken from their homes and shipped across the ocean. Walking through Badagry today, you can still feel the echoes of this painful era. The town became a major market where human beings were bartered for items like cannons, gunpowder, mirrors, and alcohol. Local chiefs and merchants were often complicit, raiding inland communities to capture people to sell. It was a brutal system that tore families apart and stripped individuals of their freedom and identity. The infamous Vlekite slave market, established in 1502, was the largest of its kind in West Africa. It's a sobering place to visit, a stark reminder of the immense suffering that occurred on its very grounds. One of the most heart-wrenching aspects of Badagry's history is the point of no return. After being sold at the market, the captured Africans were shackled and forced to march a long, agonizing route to the coast. The final point before boarding the slave ships was a small island, Barafo Island. Once they crossed the lagoon and set foot on that island, their hope of ever returning home was gone. They would walk to the edge of the Atlantic, board the waiting ships, and begin the horrific Middle Passage to the Americas. Today, a well at the start of this path still exists, where it's said captives were forced to drink the water and recite an oath, a cruel psychological trick to make them forget their homeland. It is a place of profound sadness and reflection. But the history of Badagry is not solely one of darkness. It's also a story of resilience, change, and new beginnings. As the abolitionist movement gained momentum in Europe, particularly in Britain, the tide began to turn. In 1851, the British, aiming to stop the slave trade at its source, bombarded Lagos and eventually signed a treaty to abolish the trade. This marked a significant turning point for Badagry. The very port that had thrived on human trafficking now became a gateway for a different kind of arrival, Christian missionaries. In 1842, Reverend Thomas Birch Freeman of the Wesleyan Mission arrived in Badagry, marking the beginning of Christianity in Nigeria. He preached his first sermon under an agia tree, a spot that is now a historical monument. Soon after, other missions followed, including the Church Missionary Society, which sent figures like Henry Townsend and Samuel Ajayi Crowther. Crowther, a former slave who was freed and educated, would later become the first African Anglican bishop. These missionaries didn't just bring a new faith, they brought Western education. They established the first primary school in Nigeria, St. Thomas Anglican Nursery and Primary School, in 1843. This school laid the foundation for modern education in the country. A legacy that continues to this day, the introduction of Christianity and Western education fundamentally transformed Badagry's social and cultural landscape. Another fascinating piece of Badagry's history is its role in firsts. Beyond hosting the first Christian mission and the first primary school, Badagry is also home to the first two-story building in Nigeria. This structure was built in 1845 by Reverend Henry Townsend. It served as a vicarage and a symbol of the new era dawning in the region. Perched on the marina with a view of the lagoon, the building still stands today as a popular museum. It housed Samuel Ajayi Crowther, who worked there to translate the English Bible into the Yoruba language, a monumental achievement that made the scripture accessible to millions. Visiting this building feels like stepping directly into the 19th century, offering a tangible connection to these pioneering figures. As the 20th century progressed, Badagry's prominence as a major port declined, with Lagos Harbor taking over as the primary commercial hub. However, its historical importance never faded. The town became a repository of Nigeria's complex journey from a center of the slave trade to the cradle of Christianity and Western education. It transitioned into a quieter administrative town and a significant historical tourist destination. The relics of its past, the slave chains, the Velekete Market, the point of no return, the mission houses, and the first two-story building have been preserved. They serve not just as tourist attractions, but as vital educational tools, reminding us of the horrors of slavery and the enduring power of the human spirit to overcome and build anew. Today, Badagry is a town of dualities. It's a place of quiet reflection and a vibrant community. The fishing and coconut groves that defined its early days still thrive alongside the historical monuments that draw visitors from around the globe. The story of Badagry teaches us that history is never simple. It's filled with moments of deep pain and moments of incredible hope. By understanding Badagry, we gain a deeper understanding of the forces that have shaped Nigeria, West Africa, and indeed, the entire Atlantic world. It is a powerful testament to the importance of remembering our past, no matter how difficult, in order to build a better future. And that's the rich and layered history of Badagry. It's a story of sorrow, survival, and transformation that deserves to be known and remembered. I hope this journey into the past has been as enlightening for you as it was for me. What part of Badagry's history did you find most compelling? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next exploration into history. Until next time, stay curious.